the big lockups on the West Coast shows. Like they talked about it, but it was literally they talked about it for like 7 minutes. Like somebody clipped the whole joint up, and you seen people was kind of dragging them, and some people was like. Some people were shooting a bail, and some people was like, that's not really their get down. But I can't agree with that because if you can do a deep dive on Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, if you can go for an hour talking about Meg and Tory beef, there's no way you only give me a 7-minute joint on everybody from No Jumper getting locked up.
My only way I can look at it is I might still have to go travel. You know what I'm saying? Like I still might have to go these places.
So what then? So that's my. But guess what? I know. Listen, go ahead and say what you about to say, because I know for a fact there's 2 reasons why people talk about Meg like that. If Meg, and that's why again why I can even tie that into. I'm listening to. I'm telling you, if I'm Meg Thee Stallion, if I'm Angel Reese, if I'm any of these women who are just high level athletes, stop trying to date your equal and date you a crash out. I promise you, if Meg Thee Stallion and Angel Reese had a crash out and they felt like every time I go somewhere, somebody gonna pull a LeBron James what he did to Stephen A. Smith, I promise you, the conversation will be completely different when it comes to some of these women. But because these women date men who got something to lose, and that go to people in the comment section when I've made a video about the Jay-Z sitting here saying he thinking about suing Kanye. Bro, you a grown man. You suing somebody they play with your kid like that? You're supposed to literally go right across Kanye's jaw. And that be my point where sometimes I get what you're saying. Yeah, if you feel, don't talk. If you felt like you don't want to talk crazy about what happened in the West Coast because you still got to travel there, you don't want to say the wrong thing. So you can't go back to LA, then that's how you should talk about whatever. But that be my point. I know that people you go over the extreme because Meg is not attached to nothing that you feel like ain't nothing going to happen to me if I say something crazy about Meg Thee Stallion. But the first time, just imagine if Meg or Angel, any of them, because women that I hear niggas have extreme crazy takes about, because you know that there probably won't be no repercussions towards you with it. But just imagine if one of them was sitting here like before Lord Durk got locked up, or King Von was still alive, or NBA Youngboy, you wouldn't talk about them the same way because you know for a fact me saying something crazy about them now it may come with some type of repercussion.
Because that's why I was say even listen to that. I felt like that's not really something that I'll be like, oh, I'm going to listen to Joe and them really see what they had to say about that, because I feel like that whole scenario, because like even like they don't really talk that much about Youngboy or anybody with like.
But these is grown men. I get like, and listen to what I'm saying. The NBA, if this was somebody younger, cool. But Big U is old. The stories that Big U was them, and we gonna talk about it. In like
even
2 seconds.
Like even with the whole Jay Prince situation, I don't think they still on that.
To me, listen to what I'm saying. You cannot listen to what I'm saying. You cannot pick and choose what you want to talk about. If you're going to talk about hip hop, you got to talk about hip hop from A to Z. You can't, because I don't respect that. You're a man still. You can't have picks on I can't respect you as a man if you're going to have crazy takes about a woman or go in depth on, oh, Meg is this, whatever, or this woman, whatever. Because this is what I'm saying. They have, and that's to me, it's like, bro, they went 44. You went 40 minutes on the Jess and Lauren thing, but you went 7 minutes on a podcast that's getting locked up for podcasting. You're a podcaster.
Oh, that's what he got locked for.
Nigga, Big U is not a podcaster, but the other 2 dudes who got locked up him with the Bricc baby be on No Jumper. I'm gonna play the clips from the other dude. What is his name? What's my man name? What is his dude name? What's his name? His name Luce Cannon. He be on No Jumper. I'm gonna play a clip of him on No Jumper talking to Wack and Adam, talking about Big U sitting here lining Nipsey up. Like, even if you ain't even play the clips or nothing, like you just nah, dog. That's why sometimes I get it. If you're not really into this space, I understand why, like, for casual people who don't just really pay attention and you only catch it on clips, that's why I respect academics. I don't care what y'all say, why you don't like him. He don't got no picks. That's why I can respect him more than I can even respect Joe Budden, because you can't have picks. Bro, people come to you, I'm coming for an opinion. I don't want to hear you gossip about women stuff all the time, and then when it's men business, how you skip the men business, but you got hot takes on women business. You can't give me a deep dive on Shaq telling Angel Reese to wear booty shorts, but you gonna skip, man, come on, dog. A bitch is a bitch, and y'all gotta stop. Niggas gotta stop giving niggas passes for being fucking bitches, dog. I'm cool on that. That's not a real place. That ain't gonna happen. So since we right here, I'm gonna go sit here and play a few clips from, I guess I'm gonna play the news clip first.
Well-known hip-hop executive has turned himself into federal authorities overnight. He's accused of running a dangerous criminal enterprise. His name, Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U. He helped launch the career of Nipsey Hussle. Well, he's now been charged with extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and murder.
Well, during this investigation, federal officials say they received or recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash. Prosecutors allege Henley ran an enterprise like a mob boss and defrauded companies, the government, and even celebrities in the process.
I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on. They talking about I'm a fugitive.
Music executive Eugene Henley, or Big U, taking to Instagram moments before turning himself in and just hours after federal authorities declared him a fugitive Wednesday.
They just raided all my houses.
Mr. Henley operated Big U Enterprises, a mafia-like organization.
Investigators claim Henley painted himself as a hip-hop legend and a Los Angeles community activist, but is actually, according to authorities, the leader of a South LA gang who ran an alleged criminal enterprise.
The facts alleged in the complaint is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him.
More than a dozen others that prosecutors say are tied to the criminal case are also in custody. According to the affidavit, Henley is charged with violating the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. Prosecutors allege his organization, Big U Enterprises, was linked with the murder of an aspiring rapper working under Henley's label in 2021. They claim Henley shot and killed the rapper in Las Vegas after the rapper recorded a diss track about Henley. Officials say Henley then dumped his body in a ditch. Officials also claim Henley used his nonprofit organization, Developing Options, which purported to help at-risk youth, to dupe taxpayers, the County of Los Angeles, and NBA players. He allegedly embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of donations and grants by transferring money into his personal bank account.
Y'all don't understand what the FBI do to black men who try to help their community.
Henley served 13 years in prison after trying to rob an undercover sheriff's deputy of cocaine back in 1991. He has not yet entered a plea deal to the current charges, but could potentially face life in prison if convicted. We reached out to his attorney and are still waiting for a response.
Well,
listen to what I'm telling you. I got a couple more clips I'm going to sit here and play. But that is one of the reasons why I sit here and say I would never go to LA as a rapper, because I don't know them politics. Even when I seen the list of people that they sit here and said it was a story where it was like Adrien Broner finessed a dice game for $1.5 million, and Big U was trying to press him out because Adrien Broner didn't want to pay him $100,000 for checking it. And I kind of respect AB, because it's like, again, when we talk about men not having picks, like, you can't sit here and have picks. I respect Adrien Broner is a crash out. He pop off on social media. He be talking greasy. When I heard this story about AB finessing the dice game for $1.5 million is OD. But him not checking in with Big U, I respect that even more, because I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Adrien Broner ain't just one of these like miscellaneous people who be fake woofing and playing big for social media. He played big with the gangsters. He went to Cali, did him, and I'm cool. I ain't giving up. I respect that. That made me respect Adrien Broner. Y'all can be like, that's ignorant. I don't care. I respect the man for not letting niggas extort him. That's like somebody literally putting their hand in your pocket like, hey, what you got in there for me? Or that's like back in the day when you was young and you knew somebody like ask you, hey, what's your shoe size, cuz? What size is them Jones? Like, you knew when somebody was trying to play with you like that. What you mean, what's my size? And the niggas who was really thorough, they used to be like, they're your size. So I respect Adrien Broner for carrying that type of energy. But again, I'm going to play this clip of the Slim, what's his name? Luce Cannon. He kind of played with Meek Mills. I ain't going to hold you.
Needs a bag. So what we do, walk in the club. Yeah, like 9 of your homies. It was like 30 of us. The security moved to the side. I said, Meek, you know what's this about? You started taking it off and handing it to me. You was polite about it, Sugar Plum. You was polite. Sugar Plum, you was polite. I hear Rose. He needs a hey, look. I got this. You got this artist you pumping. You don't want this to get out. We need 50. He brought 52, Crenshaw, and 48. He brought that money. He brought it fast. And when he brought it, I hit Big Useless and said, we on our way. Gave Meek Mills his stuff back and left. He needs he's
And again, that's why I said I've said this a million times. I don't understand why rappers be so pressed to move to California. I don't. If these type of things, because they were sitting here making it seem like Big U kind of had a strong arm on Shaq, Draymond Green, a couple of other people. It was kind of like, dang, if he making it tight on even somebody like Shaq, is like, bro, what would make me? And real quick, and that's what kind of even made me when it was like when it seemed like LeBron was choosing the Kendrick Lamar side way stronger, because I don't think that it is just stopped with one gang. You're not about to sit here and tell me only the rolling 60s is the only people pressing out athletes. You telling me no Bloods don't get down like that at all? So even for people to sit here like, I think LeBron want to play in LA. He want his kids to stay. He don't want to have to sit here and move. He want to just kind of probably go old in LA. So I think even him choosing the side with the Kendrick thing was a little bit more of like, I feel like a lot of that kind of had a little bit of gang politics to it. I don't necessarily know how many of y'all actually watch Lakers games, but every time the Lakers got a big game on TNT, I don't even remember which one of them TDE dudes it is, but he literally be at every game with a red TDE ad sitting courtside, not 2 rows behind. He's literally on Celebrity Row with a red TDE hat on. He be 9 times out of 10, he got a black t-shirt and a red TDE hat. The hat is red and the TDE letters is white across his hat. I've seen him at literally 5 Lakers games this season. You're not about to sit here and tell me LeBron James was supposed to be dumb enough to sit here and say I was gonna choose Drake's side over Kendrick Lamar, and you hearing these Big U stories, man, y'all crazy as hell, dog. And that be my point. Is sometimes where I feel like when people talk, you got to talk in real details. You got to pay attention, and that's why even when you talk about podcasting, I think sometimes you even just to have a good 5-minute opinion, it may take you a whole night to watch stuff that you don't even feel like watching. And that's even just like when we talking about with this Big U stuff, bro. I couldn't tell y'all the last time I watched a No Jumper interview or even listen to Academics in a minute, because I felt like it ain't nothing he was talking about. And that's again why I like Lauren, because okay, Lauren give me enough details. I don't have to listen to all these other people. But sometimes if you don't have that space, I don't have no other choice but to listen to somebody like Academics. Why? Because Joe Budden skipped the whole entire topic. Like, and that be my point. Is sometimes like if you're gonna do the job, do the fucking job for real. Don't have no picks on what you're talking about, because your listeners. That's what your listeners is here for. I want to hear your opinion, and I want to know some details on some stuff that I did not know about. But again, staying into this situation with these people, I do want to play this clip of. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know how. And let's be clear. In this RICO, in these charges, especially on these charges for Big U, they brought up Clubhouse topics, a lot of Clubhouse topics, and I do sit here and say. I don't know who run Clubhouse, but they should shout outs to all the West Coast gang members, because people was joking about that on Twitter all weekend, where they were sitting here saying like, bro, the West Coast and the West Coast gang culture keeps Clubhouse alive, because literally anytime you hear Whack 100 crashing out on somebody, 9 times out of 10, the clip come from Clubhouse. But this clip I'm about to play right here is the Luce Cannon dude. He was on No Jumper. He was talking to Whack 100, and they was talking about basically he was trying to sit here and say he felt like Big U had something to do with Nipsey passing.
So basically, because he'll be like he'll manipulate things. Like we'll go and do something, and as soon as we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to counting everything, right?
No, that ain't that's the robbery. I want to play the Nipsey job.
You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah, and
you like
just talking on regular. So it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it, because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked up. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30 minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early, because the homie Shitty double back 3 times. You hear what I'm saying? And first he shot him, boom, go into the alley, came back and shot him, boom. It wasn't good enough, and then he came back and he shot him again. But now it's like
how did he know?
Yeah, no, but
that's crazy.
It's deep. So it's like I don't know who to trust.
Now let me ask you a question. I heard this. I don't know how true it is. I heard that Shitty and Nipsey had a fight.
Yeah, they had. They had a fight like a week before that. When they had a fight, Shitty ain't known for fighting.
Yeah, not at all.
He known for doing the other things. So at the end of the day, it's like Nipsey beat him up. Nipsey is what's like 6'4", 6'5". Shitty is like 5'5", 5'6". You get what I'm saying? Like frails. Like he
and you know the crazy thing is, I'm not gonna sit here and say I feel bad, but because the West Coast style of podcasting has built this community and its fan base up on talking too much. Like people listen to No Jump, or you listen to when Adam have these gang members on the show, is because you feel like you want to hear these type of stories, but realistically, these stories don't make good for not going to jail. They make good for other people's entertainment. Like, am I going to be locked in? Am I going to watch? Am I going to listen? Of course you're going to listen to this type of stuff. But realistically, if you committing these crimes or you are affiliated with people committing these crimes, you should never be getting on nobody's podcast talking this loosely. And especially, these ain't like these people talking about stuff that happened 30 years ago. You talking about stuff that was happening during the shutdown. Nipsey ain't been gone nothing but what, I think like 5 years. So you talking about ain't no statute of limitation on these crimes that you talking about? So that's just my whole point, is like when you even breaking these stories down, or you even talking about extorting Meek Mills and this, that, and the third, like this stuff is on like people when they all got picked up, all they doing is all these clips is resurfacing. People are reusing and repurposing these clips. So it's like you building an audience off of your authentic stories, and these stories you telling them they sound believable. Rappers and athletes aren't sitting here denying none of these stories. So it's kind of just like, damn, all right, even when I heard the Meek jump, I'm like, damn, Meek, y'all want like cake and ice cream. It's not. And I think even when you hear some of these stories, you kind of just like, and I get it, sometimes you get older when you maneuver certain places. Like, let's be clear, I feel like if you old, I'm not going to sit here and say, me personally, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to have to go nowhere where I feel like I got to sit here and tap in, or I got to sit here and pay somebody for protection. And we could talk about that in a little bit when we get into the Sauce Walker situation. Like I feel like this week was one of those weeks in hip hop where it was like, damn, like what's next? But it was kind of like, I wouldn't want to check in, but that kind of made me even respect a lot more when you hear that story, you see that video of Lil Durk and them pressing the game out, and they in the West Coast and they pressing him out. But at that time, they probably so young. And that probably at that time, I understand, like, I ain't even gonna say that young, because you seen how Lil Durk and them move. I mean, off of what he in jail for right now, because it's kind of like, yeah, just because we in Cali don't mean we can't get our handles on some junks. So it's like, and we gonna bang out. And that's why I'm kind of not even mad at Game for kind of just like not even dragging it with them in the club, because they let you know, like, yeah, we from Chicago, and what you know about Chicago, we carrying it like that when we come to Cali. That kind of course, this is the ignorant part of my brain, and this will probably be hypocritical later on when we talk about some more of a non-rap stuff. But I kind of respect Lil Durk gangster. Like, he never cut his gangster off for nobody. It don't matter where I'm at. I'm not about to let you play with me. You're not going to play with my name. But even to hear that story about Meek, it's kind of like, damn, Meek, you went on like, oh, you in the club and let somebody take your chains off in the club? Like, that to me just sound crazy. Like, and I never heard Meek come and deny those stories. Like, so it's kind of just like, and for that just to be floating on the internet and you never see this dude get beat up or nothing, it's kind of like, damn, shout out to Lil Durk. Free Lil Durk. I'm not mad. I respect a good crash out. I honestly respect a good crash out. Is that what the only other clip of that? I believe. Oh no, I had this one John they was talking about when Biggie was talking about Wiz Khalifa.
So what about Wiz?
Oh, Wiz Khalifa. Now that right there is one of my nephews. Yes, sir. A phenomenal brain. I think people don't give Wiz the credit he deserves for how smart and intelligent he is. You know what I mean? Like he's smart on a whole nother level. Like, Wiz gonna be in this business years to come. He's gonna be one of the figure. He's a man of the community. He has donated for the last 5 years. He has donated every year to the organization. He I think he gave us $25,000 last year for the football organization. In the terms of we bought football jerseys, uniforms. He paid for our field. He's performed 2 times for us a year for the football program. He by far he's done far more for the Crenshaw community than any person up to date.
So you know what's so crazy? So when I heard this Wiz Khalifa story, I kind of thought it made me think two things real quick. I kind of made it like, all right, if I'm somebody like Wiz, that really ain't a lot of money to somebody like Wiz Khalifa. Like, all right, if Wiz sit here and say he donated 25,000, or even let's just say 50,000, what's 50,000 if you're talking about for your safety? Because now if you sit here saying, if I donated to them 50 bands, I know I can kind of move around Cali as freely as I possibly want. I'm kind of not mad at that, especially if I'm not somebody where it's like, I think for Lil Durk or somebody like a Jeezy or something, it depends on your aura and how you kind of carry yourself or what your rap career is known for. Because I understand for somebody like Durk, he probably like, man, I'm just bringing me and my man, we gonna be strapped up and we gonna bang out how we supposed to bang out. So it's differently, but for somebody like Wiz, who's not known to have like a big entourage, or Wiz Khalifa not really known to be on no gangster time, it's kind of like, I'm not mad at it. Like when I'm hearing that story, I'm saying, all right, 50,000 really ain't nothing to Wiz. And if I'm looking at it like I'm paying 50,000 for my safety, where me and my family can kind of move around and I ain't got to worry about nobody trying to pull no sneaky backdoor moves on me. I kind of was like, all right, I get it. So I maybe feel like it depends on the artist. And even for some of the athletes, though, it's like, I get like, even if Draymond, let's just say Draymond, especially, I don't know, Draymond may be a little different, but like Shaq seemed like he really, like, even if you listen to some stories, like when Shaq be getting into like his LA story time, like after certain games, how he wouldn't sit here and go like straight home, and Shaq really be wanting to move around outside, and Shaq don't got, like, I don't even know Shaq got any homeboys. So it's like, that kind of like, maybe that's cool for Shaq. Cause Shaq, and he a freaky man, so it's kind of like I could easily see a nigga pulling a backdoor on Shaq with like, Shaq probably would be realistically the easiest person to pull a lick on because he always so horny. So I kind of would understand that Shaq would probably like, he may have like 2 different sets of gangs in his pocket where it's like, all right, I'm gonna get him 100 bands this year, and I'm gonna get him 100 bands this year, and I'm Gucci because I'm gonna move around LA and do me, and I kind of want to be good money wherever I move around at. So I like I said, I try to think twice about it where it's not like, don't be ridiculous and make it seem like nobody can't get extorted. I know people can, but it's kind of just like, I feel like it's like, who are you and how you kind of carry yourself and what you want your name to be like in the streets. But again, like I said, I just don't, me personally, if you are a podcast, I don't respect you skipping them type of topics, dog. I'm sorry. Like, where you go?